Sorry. Got another true crime video. Toxic boyfriend, his ex, you know what I'm saying? For some men, love will be there. Like, yo, love is like, yes, just why? Just no matter why. Why? Just why? Let's jump into it. Yeah. Just look at this guy. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Your girl, bruh. Seriously? Your girl. Over a girl.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another true crime video, and today we are going to be doing the story of Egnitius Mpumelelo Hill, Mbali Antoinette Hill, and Nompumelelo Gumede. Now, if you're new to this channel, I try and do these videos often, so please do check out the playlist. I've done a couple already, and I will be doing more in the near future. Now, before we dive into today's video, I do just have one disclaimer. This case is extremely new. It recently just happened at the end of July of 2025, and therefore I do have to stress that these are still allegations because they're yet to be tested.
Alleged
In a court of law. Now, with that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. Today's video takes us to Emalahleni Witbank in Mpumalanga. Mpumelelo Egnitius Hill was born on the 20th of June 2000. He comes from a relatively normal background where he lived with his sister and mother. He went to FH Kabela Secondary School where he matriculated with a bachelor. Growing up, Mpumelelo was a normal kid, not too problematic, did well at school, and was well behaved. When he was around 13 years,
I can see the demon in his eyes. The para. Nah.
old, he then started obsessing around writing music, specifically hip-hop and rap. He also obsessed about the possibility of becoming the next biggest South African hip-hop artist. In 2015, he started recording his own music, pursuing more of his passion, to the extent of which when he completed matric, he then went on to study sound engineering. At this point, his whole life revolved around hip-hop. If he wasn't writing lyrics, he was recording them. Luckily for him, he surrounded himself with a group of friends who also shared the same aspirations. They would spend each and every moment of their days working towards being the next biggest hip-hop artist. However, at some point, it stopped being just about the music. Hip-hop started being his whole identity. He wanted to have the hip-hop street cred, the aggression, and be outlaw cultured. The lyrics to his music were tough and confrontational, and he too was always ready to prove himself. He started taking substances and was now notorious for being rough around the edges and a little dangerous. Around 2020,
no, gang. You just keep losing me. It's like, like I'm not even. I can already even tell he sounds. It's like I can't even rap. I can't even do it. What am I doing? It's like I say, you're in the Makaya. You're in the rurals. Okay, focus on yo. No, bruh. No, not all of us are gonna make it in this rap game, bro. And even if you do, you might turn out like MT, you know what I'm saying? Yo, bad contracts, drug abuse. Nah, you know, yo.
When his grandmother passed away, him and his little sister Mbali Antoinette Hill moved to Vostman in Mpumelelo in Emalahleni, where she stayed. Next door to the house that they moved into was Nompumelelo Gumede's house, who was around 17 years old.
Not gonna lie, I've seen so many girls who look like this. They be the type who break your friend. They be, okay, sorry, this girl probably the one who passed away, so why am I so mean right now? But no, if you're South African, if you're black South African and you go to different locations and you know this type of girl, you know, this is the type of girl that breaks hearts. I'm sorry.
At the time, she lived with her mother, Shelly Mlanjeni. Now, I do have to stress, it's going to be a little bit confusing because Nompumelelo next door and Mpumenelo's names are a bit similar. Kindly take note of that. It is just coincidental. Okay. So when Mpumelelo, the guy, moved in next door, and he first met Nompumelelo, the girl who was around 17 years old at the time, he was immediately interested in her, and he was around 22 years old. Within no time, Nompumelelo and Mpumelelo were dating, and they were spending a lot of time together. Months into their relationship, Nompumelelo fell pregnant, and the couple welcomed their first child together. The transition of them moving from just being girlfriend and boyfriend to now being parents was not a smooth one, because for the most part, they were still very young. They were both children. Nompumelelo wasn't working, while Mpumelelo, on the other hand, was working odd jobs and was spending the bulk majority of his time trying to push his passion of hopefully becoming this big hip-hop artist one day. So most of the money that he would get through his hustles was going towards funding his dreams. His friends and him would spend a lot of their time just indoors recording or writing music. They would buy alcohol, sit in the lounge of one of the friends' houses, and they would just have listening sessions or writing sessions for their music. And if they were not doing this, they were out and about in Mpumelelo shooting music videos. They shot music videos in parking lots, in swimming pools, in the streets, anywhere around Mpumelelo, and anytime they would shoot.
Good, but you gotta quit some addictions if you gotta like pay for promotions at some point, gang. You got to.
Music videos. And because of his passion and slight obsession, he was able to push his project to the extent of which he released an EP that he named Hill and Game that was released on all streaming platforms, although it did not do too well. While he was doing all of this, Nompumelelo was raising their newborn child. The relationship started getting strained, although it continued. And within no time, Mpumelelo also started being violent towards Nompumelelo, constantly laying his hands on her. And this went on from 2023 and progressively got worse over time. Now, when Nompumelelo's mom found out about this, she then told Nompumelelo to end the relationship, one, and two, to get a protection order. However, surely Nompumelelo's mom says that Nompumelelo did not take this well. She felt like her mom was against her and was not supporting her, to the extent of which she refused to end the relationship. So nonetheless, the relationship between Mpumelelo and Nompumelelo continued, although it was so tumultuous. It was so violent to the extent that most neighbors would report hearing constant arguments and bangs coming from the house. Just a week before the incident, the couple had had one of the big arguments they normally had. On this occasion, Nompumelo's aunt says Mpumelelo broke the kitchen window with his bare fist in anger. And on these occasions, Nompumelelo would go back home next door, and when Mpumelelo calmed down, he would go back and ask for forgiveness.
No, nigga. No. Like, we're not doing this, gang. We're not.
In this particular event, he fixed the window, he acted remorseful, and all was forgiven. Such occurrences were frequent. Mpumelelo would act remorseful. He would even go as far as telling his mom that he needed to see a traditional healer. He believed that something was
quit drinking.
Wrong with him. But
quit drinking. And if you every freaking time. It's like, bro, if you want this so bad, then spend your money on promotion. I don't spend money on my promotions when it comes to it, but there's some videos where I'm like, this might work. You know, then I put like maybe like 20 rand, $20 into promotion. Not that serious, Get a couple views, then I get the views I wanted, then it gets more than that because I believed in my video. The video just works,
And it was actually time now to follow through with that. He wouldn't. About a week after the window incident, on the 23rd of July 2025, the couple got into yet another altercation. Now, according to Nompumelo's mom, for whatever reason, Mpumelelo was not home, and he texted Nompumelelo to say that she needs to get out of their house and go home, and she needed to do this before he gets back home. He got back home around past 5 a.m. in the morning. Nompumelelo was still in the house, but she was getting ready. She was getting dressed to leave and go back home. And an altercation ensued. Mbali, the sister, then came in, tried to intervene between the two of them. As they were doing all of that, the two girls rushed into one of the bedrooms in the house. This is when Mpumelelo went out of the house. He went to the car and he was spotted by some of the neighbors. He went to the car and this is when he got some petrol. I don't think the girls were aware where he had gone to or what he was going to do. They possibly even thought that he had left the house again. But lo and behold, he was in the car getting petrol. He got back into the house. He doused them with petrol. He locked the door. And he continued pouring petrol even underneath the door. He then went into the living room. He poured himself a glass of gin and he sat down and he started drinking. And that time he had lit that bedroom up and everything was on fire. As he sat drinking his gin, the girls were screaming. They were calling out for help. And luckily, the neighbors were able to hear them. And they rushed to the house. They also saw the smoke coming out of the house. They rushed to the house. And when they got there, they met Mpumelelo. He was sitting calmly in the living room and he was drinking his alcohol.
Beku 3 minutes past 6 ekseni mangiphuma ngiya eshop eMandiyeni
6 in the morning.
So umfana ngimthole asekarini makuvela mina wabhaca ngeRDP ukuthi ngingaboni ukuthi uphetheni but bekaphethe something esandleni. So ngaye eMandiyeni by nangiphuma 3 minutes past 6
I can't see drama. I'm not okay. Translation. She's gone to the store 6 in the morning. Saw the house burning. Went in. He's hiding something. Probably the paraffin bottle.
10 past ngithola umlilo sewuyavutha
in the roof. Yes.
Uphuma ngeroof. Umfana uhleli edining room akafuna ukusinikeza izikhiya.
They begged Mpumelelo for the keys. They begged him.
Yeah, no, I'm kicking the... Okay. Let me not talk like Spider-Man or like I'm big boss or whatever.
Quite a bit. Because time was of the essence. They couldn't beg him any longer. They couldn't wait any longer for him to give them the keys. So the neighbors decided to knock down the door to the bedroom because the girls were still screaming and asking for help. Luckily, they were able to knock the door down. Mbali and Nompumelelo were both still alive. One of the things that Mbali said, who was still communicating at this point, was that Mpumelelo did this to us. The girls were quickly taken to hospital. Surely Nompumelo's mom was right by her side throughout the whole thing, comforting and consoling her. When they got to hospital, one of the last things that Nompumelelo said before slipping into a coma was, "I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm sorry for not listening to you. I'm sorry for not listening when you warned me about Mpumelelo. Please look after my daughter." And immediately after this, she slipped into a coma. The two girls were severely injured. They both had third-degree burns. The prognosis was not good. For the next week, both families were in and out of the Witbank hospital praying and hoping for their recovery.
Because besangakulindeli thina lokuthi ngenzeka kuye so lebhlungu kangaka emntwana omncane kanje ashiswe ngalendlela ashiswe ngayo.
We are heartbroken as the family. We were not expecting this to happen to her. She is very young and she was burned like a hated person. I can't cope. I can't eat or sleep.
Ngilala ngamaphilisi.
Okay.
Ngale ndlela abo doctor basho ngakhona ukuthi ushe kakhulu ngaphakathi. I doubt. Cause
the way the doctors have described the extent of the burns all over her body and inside, I doubt she will make it. There is little hope that she will pull through.
Unfortunately, both girls kept deteriorating. At this point, Mpumelelo had already been arrested for attempting to take their lives, but the charge would soon be upgraded because a little over a week later, the doctors called both families stating that their conditions had deteriorated and their kidneys were failing. They were no longer responding to medication. Mbali Antoinette Hill, Mpumelelo Hill's sister, succumbed to her injuries on the 1st of August 2025. She was only 23 years old. A day later, on the the 2nd of August 2025, Nompumelelo Gumede succumbed to her injuries as well. She's only 21 years old.
Sure.
Charges against Mpumelelo Hill were upgraded, and he was then formally charged for taking both their lives. Fearing for his life, abandoned his bail application and will be appearing again in court on the 27th of October 2025. This is about 2 months from the time that I'm recording this video. It is still early days for this case.
Yes,
we'll be keeping an eye on it and updating you guys as time goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment.
That's crazy. What's his name? Okay, that's his name. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Yeah, I thought I could look for more stuff about this. It just says the same thing as she's saying that the guy got more arrested. I was just checking for additional information. So yeah, the mother's taking care of the daughter now. It's crazy. Like, just, dude, you just quit drinking. Oh, yeah. You could have made it. You really could have, but no.